I'm Dr. Lori. I'm at the Juniata Valley Home and Garden Show in Reedsville, Pennsylvania, not far from We Are Penn State. That's right. Let's see what we got. Peony, made in Japan. Hi. To whom does it? Hi, how are you? How did you get it?
It was my mother's.
Your mother's, but you know nothing about it. Did she like it?
Yes.
She just likes the peony flowers. Do any of you have a favorite flower? Gerber daisies. I like those. Right here, that's water. That's been in water a good long time. You're like, really, was it wet? Did she keep plants in it?
No.
No, so it's just for decorative. So this particular area has maybe when it was stored. It's possible when it was stored it got a little bit wet like that. It's marked on the bottom and it says peonianware. You can see the peony here. It's a little bit dirty on this side and it looks like the dirt is under the glaze. So that doesn't mean your mother was dirty. That means that the glaze got dirty, that the underside got dirty before they glazed it. A nice piece, a serving piece, right? Usually for, oh, in my family it would be antipasto, but maybe crudité, right? You know, raw vegetables, that kind of thing. Not for pastries, not for cookies, not like that. How much do you think it's worth? Oh, it dates to about the 1940s. Value on it about $25. Condition is to antiques, but location is to real estate. If it's not in good shape, it's not worth that much. So that's the damage problem. I've got a blue piece. It's a brooch. How do we acquire it? What's your first name? It's prong set. Look how well that goes with my sweater, Rita. It looks great. So you were allowed to choose it from her jewelry box. Was your grandmother German? This piece is made in Germany. That's why I asked. It is unmarked. It has a prong set construction that indicates it's Germanic. It's really nice. Did you have the stone tested?
No.
Okay. There are bubbles in the stone. Are there usually bubbles in gemstones? Not usually. So your stone is glass. It's a very pretty, high-quality crystal, oftentimes called an Austrian crystal, but there's a bubble in there. And that indicates that the piece is actually on the order of glass. Glass with some lead content, 24% lead content, indicates that it, in fact, is crystal. Yours is a nice, bright crystal. Also, it's moving in the prongs. You can feel it moving. So you may want to take it to a jeweler, and you may want to have the prongs tightened. How many of you have a wedding ring on your hand? If you do, and you hear it, you can hear it jingling, you got to get to the jeweler to have those prongs tightened. You don't want to lose the stone. Value on the piece? Nice piece, sentimental value, about $50. Okay. How about Princess Diana? A commemorative edition with new material in her own words. Andrew Morton. This guy set everybody on their head when they wrote this. Simon & Schuster. How did you acquire this? Hi, sweetie. At a yard sale. What made you buy it? You figured you'd read it?
Because she was on the front.
Because she was on the front. You just love her, right? Tragic, tragic. Young. What was she? 36? Very young she died. Yeah, 1997, August 31st. Of course, in the tunnel in Paris, the paparazzi following her. You know, terrible. It's not the first edition. The first edition would be more valuable. I would say value on this piece, about $15. Oh, boy. That's her hat. This is another thing of clothing. We're going to start counting now. When I say one object, you're bringing me the whole trousseau here. Okay, and the ones that she has on are not her original clothes? Well, she gained some weight because there's no way she's going to fit into that. I mean, I gain weight all the time, but I'm going to tell you that that's not her original piece. This is her original piece. That's not her original piece. Okay, so you've got some clothing here, and then you've got new clothing, and you have, of course, this doll. Of course, when she lays down, her eyes close. When she sits up, her eyes open. She's not in very good condition. Was she your mom's doll from the 1920s or 30s? Yeah? Yours, right? That particular doll dates to the early years of the 20th century, and this particular doll is not in great shape. Did you enjoy playing with her, though? Yes, yes. These particular dolls, I see a lot of them. Oftentimes when they're put in the attic, they start to split. So you can see, of course, the composition matter start to split. Value on that doll in this condition, about $25. That includes the clothes. So it's Mickey's airmail. Here's Mickey Mouse, his airmail plane. He's made of rubber, he's cast. It's Mickey Mouse as an airmail man. So that particular piece is the late part of the 1930s into the 40s, mid to late 30s. And this particular toy is in beautiful condition, almost perfect. Usually the rubber wheels are gone. Oftentimes, you know, the head is kind of off to one side. So he didn't play with this much, or he took very good care of everything. How much do you think it's worth? It's Disney collectible, it's a toy collectible, it's old, it's vintage, it's in good condition. What do you think? You go between 75 and 100, I'll go between 100 and 110. Okay. How about that? Nice. Why? Because we've got a big anniversary coming up for Disney, right? If you wait till that anniversary, values are going to spike a little more. So what am I telling you? Collect the Disney stuff now and wait for the anniversary and then resell it. All of these things are things you got to be thinking about. Your father's christening outfit, born in 1901. Was he born on the east coast of the United States? New York to the mid-Atlantic, right here in Pennsylvania. Okay, that's two. This is very, very high end. Were you aware of that? Was he born into significant wealth? He was not. Was someone born into significant wealth prior to him? Not that you were. All the way back, everybody's poverty-stricken like my family. Your grandparents were from Czechoslovakia and came over. Okay. This piece was handed down. This piece is a 19th century piece. Gorgeous, gorgeous in the lacework at the bottom. This is the ritzy part. This piece here with actual sleeves, and usually it's just no sleeves. And then actual sleeves are even woven in here. And everybody's looking for, of course, the lace. Very beautiful. What do you think it's worth? Why did you keep it all these years? Oh, yeah, that's because the babies get nothing. Are any of you a baby in the family? Raise your hand. We got nothing. Did we not get gypped? We got gypped. That's why they didn't get it handed down. Right, Sue? Sue's like, yeah, Dr. Lori, that's true. So your father was the eldest, and he got the nice christening gown, but his siblings didn't get it. They didn't pass it down. They just kept it away. So wouldn't you think the babies of the family, his younger siblings, would have liked a nice christening gown? They would have. Not fair. Not fair, right? Okay, right there, the cedar chest. The cedar chest will off gas. It'll keep out bugs. Cedar's great if you want a deck, but cedar, when you're trying to store pieces, I'm very happy to see this plastic piece, which you can open up and let breathe every once in a while, but right up against the cedar, this whole thing's going to smell of cedar. Yours doesn't, right, because it's been in this. Beautiful. Oh, did I tell you the value? $250. I got a bunch of spoons. Huckleberry found, and this is Dennis the Menace, and then we've got some baby spoons. Baby spoons belong to him, too. And then there's this one. You're going to pass it down. How many objects do I appraise per person? I think it's one. Let's count just for math. 1, 2, 3. Dennis is 4. Is this the one you want me to appraise? Huckleberry? Yeah. You knew there were 5 and it's 1, right? Well, I figured I'd sneak them in. What's your first name? I don't really care, Cindy, but in the goodness and honest of everybody, like though that's a set. Yours are not. I didn't like Dennis the Menace. I was sick of him. He's always doing something. He never got into real trouble. My house, we get into real trouble. You know, Daddy's gonna know about that, Lorianne. I mean, we got into trouble. Dennis the Menace would do something to the neighbor. Forget that. The neighbor, you can't do anything bad to the neighbors. Oh my gosh, our mother would have like put us underground. So I didn't like Dennis the Menace. Did you, Tina? No, I wasn't crazy about him. Anyway, Huckleberry Hound. So what do you know about this? Did you look at the back? Have you assessed the material? It was dark. And what happened? Did you use plate polish or did you use sterling silver polish? There's a difference, you know. This is made by the International Silver Company. Many of them were mass produced. This is silver plate, which means it's a piece of copper with an electroplating sheet on top of it. So if you're going to clean it, it has to be cleaned with plate polish, not sterling silver polish, because it's not solid. Okay? So most of the value is not in the material. Most of the value is in the fact that it's Huckleberry Hound. How much do you think it's worth? Take a guess. Maybe $20? How about $3? So your daughter-in-law, that's already in the garbage. Don't even bother. Because if she's looking for big numbers, that's not it. How about a violin? Oh, it's in good shape. How'd you acquire it? Hi, hon. Granddaughter was taking lessons. Did she? Nah, she doesn't do that anymore because the kids do it for 15 minutes and then they throw the whole thing out, right? Too much work, didn't want to do it, didn't like it. I don't like it, Mom, right? Something like that. How much did you pay at the auction? Couple bucks? Don't even remember? Not that much. They go at auction very, very low. Some of them can be quite valuable. You need a tonal appraisal. That means someone has to play it in order to evaluate it. The body and box is in nice shape. It's in the style of Stradivarius, which is this nice characteristic style for the violin. This violin probably dates to about the early years of the 1900s. Between 1900 and 1930, value on it just about $100. That's just some of the antiques at the Juniata Valley Home and Garden Show just outside of State College, Pennsylvania.